Hi, welcome to the Q. My name is Gummi, and today we have Sammy the House.
Hi, glad to be back. The Q.
The Q podcast.
Holiday edition.
So, it is the holiday edition.
Holiday edition.
I wanted to thank people, because I don't know if you've noticed, I just saw it yesterday, that most of us, so we don't market or advertise.
We don't push the show too much.
Yeah, we don't push it too much. But I've noticed that on average, I was adding up all the views that we have on YouTube, and we average about 400 views per episode.
Cool.
So not
that's
a lot.
Good. That's a lot, though.
But yeah, for something that's not being marketed, is actually pretty.
That's
good.
pretty good. 400 views.
So what I want to talk about today is our holiday traditions that we grew up with, and a lot of them obviously reflect the Latino culture. One of the things that I never understood growing up was the celebration of Christmas on the 24th.
Why? How can you not? Like, how can you not? Like, it's...
Well, I mean, yeah, and we all grew up doing that, right? But as I got older, like middle school age, I never understood why we celebrate on the 24th.
Well, do you understand why we celebrate on New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
Why do we celebrate on New Year's Eve? Here we go. Here's your quick.
You're ringing in.
You're ringing in the New Year, and you're bringing in. We were waiting. So it could be two things. You could be awaiting the arrival of Santa Claus, or you could be awaiting the arrival of the baby Jesus, right? So I mean, for the, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. You're the brand new year. You're waiting for the arrival of the brand new year. Well, December 24th, Christmas Eve, you're celebrating, or you're awaiting the arrival of either one.
Well, okay, but from a logical point of view,
really,
one
you want to be logical? Then time is a construct, and we shouldn't even be celebrating New Year's because we're on some weirdo calendar. So you really want to get logical? You want to hate on Jesus, on the baby Jesus?
We're going to hate on Jesus. No. Waiting on the birth of Jesus. Okay. I mean, that to me, it was, I mean, yes, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. That is like the whole meaning of Christmas and stuff, right? Like the reason for the season, right? That's trying to remember the line. I'm not talking about Jesus. I'm talking about like the celebration of Christmas as far as like the gifts and all that stuff, because from what I understood as a kid, was that Santa arrives, right? Everybody goes to sleep. Santa arrives, drops off the gifts. However, you already have the gifts around the Christmas tree. You're celebrating, and then before even midnight, you start opening up the gifts.
Are we really going to ruin Santa for everybody right now?
And then it's not like 5-year-olds are watching the podcast.
Hey, you never know, dude. There might be a little toddler being like, "Ma, you could have been the Q."
We're gonna Santa is not real. We're gonna.
No! I'm so sorry, Mijo.
No, but we so to me that was kind of like, this is what I would question, right? I mean, as a kid, I always loved Christmas. It didn't like the whole, celebrating 24th, 25th. It didn't matter. It was just like you're with family, you're with people you love, you're with your family and friends, and that's what mattered, right?
So you bring up a good point, right? You remember the tradition is, hey, go to bed because Santa's going to be here, right? And all the songs say you should be tucked away in bed because Santa will be here any minute now, and you should be asleep when he gets here. So in the morning, you wake up to see Santa's presents, but there's already presents around the Christmas tree. So you want to be logical, right? I don't know how privileged you grew up or not, because some people didn't have, too much privilege, right? Some people don't. So so when I grew up, right, and I believed in Santa Claus, I knew that Santa was going to bring a gift, but also mom and dad brought a gift, and maybe your sister or your brother gave you a gift, right, or your uncle and your tío. So when tíos and stuff would come over, or grandma would come over, this is a gift, but we're not going to open it till Christmas. So you put it underneath the Christmas tree. Right? You put it underneath the Christmas tree, and then, so let's say we're getting together at somebody's house, right, on Christmas Eve. But it's family. We're awaiting the arrival of the Messiah or whatever, and we're getting together and we're celebrating. Okay, so since we're going to go out and we're going to go have a good time with family tonight, you get to open one gift. Santa will bring some more gifts in the morning, right? But, you can open your grandma's gift.
But that wasn't our tradition.
So I mean, but
like in your house might have been different, but for us, we always open the gifts on the 24th.
Always.
And
so did we. But there was a time when I still believed in Santa, and they allowed me to open one gift, but Santa's gift wasn't there yet. Okay. So in other words, I could open a gift on Christmas Eve.
See, I didn't have that story.
See, and so
I wasn't told that.
Yeah, you weren't told that. Yeah. You were so did Santa had Santa left the gifts on Christmas Eve?
For me, it was, Santa's gonna get there at midnight, whatever, and then in the morning, I mean, I don't even remember if I even opened gifts.
So let's dig down deep into the bottom of this.
On the 25th.
Where would you celebrate the 24th? Where would you celebrate Christmas Eve?
Usually it was in Mexico.
Okay, and then would you guys come home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by the time you got home, Santa had already been there. Is that what's happening? Because that happened to me too.
Well, no, the gifts would be like we would take the gifts to.
Sure. So and Santa would drop them off at your Mexican family's house.
Yeah. Like everybody would take the gifts and have them there. From my recollection,
But you don't remember if Santa
dropped. Could be completely.
But you don't remember if Santa dropped them off there or not. Yeah. When you believed.
When I was a kid, I didn't. My thing was always, and this is why I started questioning. Obviously, you get older, you start questioning different things, right? But for me, it was always. When I started finding out that it was like people buying those gifts and like it wasn't Santa or anything, right? It wasn't like heartbreaking, but it was like, oh, okay, like now I'm starting to see why we had gifts before Santa got there, right? Like I never really questioned it until later on. As a kid, it was like, oh wait, is Santa Claus coming to our house? Like I never questioned that because to me, I was always caught up with like hanging out with my family,
So this is why I'm freaking out, because you're questioning the celebration of December 24th, right? Or the celebrating on Christmas Eve. But according to you, you've always celebrated on Christmas Eve. So I don't know.
Well, as a kid, yeah, I
So I don't understand why you're questioning it if it's something that you always did.
Well, because of the whole Santa Claus thing, it's kind of like.
So you should be questioning the songs and the stories. Not questioning the celebration of Christmas Eve, because you've always celebrated on Christmas Eve. That's what your family always did.
As a kid, I did. See, it's because when you start getting older and you start meeting people who don't celebrate on the 24th and they celebrate on the 25th, and then you watch Christmas movies and specials and stuff.
We're
like
different.
That.
We're different. Yeah, everyone's the cultures are different.
But that's why I started questioning it. Like, wait a minute, how come we celebrate on the 24th and these guys celebrate on the 25th? And then you start like, oh, well, it's the Santa Claus, like, midnight thing and all that. And you're like, As you start learning about, like, the other cultures and stuff and, like, how other people celebrate it, I mean, to me, it's like, well, why do we do it this way, right? And I started, as I got older and I kind of moved away, I started celebrating on the 25th. We still hung out on the 24th and did everything, but ultimately, look, it was always like a family thing to me. And I have a sad story to tell about Christmas.
I'm sure you do.
Which is something that, traumatized me as a kid.
Every episode, we learn something new about you and we realize why you're such a grump.
No, I used to love Christmas a lot, and I still love Christmas, but I don't celebrate it.
I actually don't. It's so heartbreaking. I know it.
I don't celebrate a lot of holidays that much anymore. Yeah. But when I was a kid, there was an instance where it was New Year's Eve actually. And one of the things that talking about traditions, we always used to go to El Laredo, cross the border, and we would hang out, all meet up. We would all meet up in my aunt's house, my aunt and uncle's house, right? And so at that time, obviously, all my aunt and uncles were younger than what I am right now, right? They were younger than me right now. So they came from all over Mexico, all over the United States, and everybody would meet there, right? For the most part. And you know, it was cool because you see all these aunts and uncles and your cousins and all that, and it was fun, you know, like all the families there. And then one year in particular, and I don't know why this happened, but it happened, was we would all meet in the living room, right? So in this house, just to kind of like paint the picture, think of a rectangular room, right? And in one corner of the room, there's a hallway that goes to another bedroom. But in that hallway, there's also a bathroom right there, right? In the middle. And then in that same corner, there's the entrance to like the kitchen and of course the rest of the house and stuff like that. My uncle, who has since passed away, had his favorite seat there. Like everybody knew that was his chair, right? And it was you know, situated in the corner there. So as soon as you came in from the kitchen, you would see the chair, or if you came in, you know, from the back, whatever, you would see the chair. So New Year's Eve, I'm a short guy, right? And as a kid, I was even shorter, smaller. And my cousins, who were around the same age range, they were, you know, roughly around the same height, maybe a little bit taller. And we're all just playing around. And I was maybe like 6, 7. You know, I can't really pinpoint the exact age, but I was pretty young. And it's New Year's Eve. So everybody is gathered. They start the countdown, and everybody's excited. And then they reach to 1, right? And then Happy New Year. So at this point, my cousins and I are at one end of the room, and everybody's just, you know, exchanging their pleasantries and their well wishes and everything. And they look down as we're walking by, right? And my aunts and uncles and whoever was there would look at me and just kind of see me. And then my cousins, same thing. But then I noticed that like oh, they noticed them and they start like, hey, Happy New Year and all that stuff, right? So I make it to the other end of the room. My cousins never even get that far because they're all being stopped and, you know, getting their well wishes as well, right? When it all ends, right, I completely went like unnoticed. And so, I mean, you're talking about a little kid, right? Little kid, and you're just thinking like, did I just walk through all these people?
How old are you?
How old am I now?
At that point.
Oh, I don't know, like 6, 7, maybe. Okay. So, and this is why I think it was kind of a little bit more traumatic, right? So I'm there, and I noticed that nobody like says anything to me. So I go to the restroom, and I'm just like freaking out, right? When I come out,
were you a ghost?
Basically, that's how I felt, right? So when I come out of the restroom, everybody's already dispersed. They've already gone, to different places. There's obviously some people still there.
Shut up! Your parents left you there.
And no, there's people still there in the living room. Yeah. And my uncle is still sitting down there. So he sees me, and he's like, "Hey, where did you come from?" And I'm like, "What, dude?" So then, he says Happy New Year and all that stuff. And then of course, the other people started kind of doing the same thing. But at the time, I didn't really think too much about it. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like, wow, nobody noticed me. Or they noticed me, but just completely like ignored me, right? And so later on, as I got older, I kept on having that freaking like image, and like that experience around Christmas time. And it never happened again, mind you, right? Thank God, right?
But you never forgot.
But I never forgot. And that kind of, it didn't really ruin my Christmas experience because I still, I continued celebrating Christmas for a lot of years and a lot of fun Christmases and experiences and stuff. But it's still something that, like, I still have it in my mind, dude. It hasn't gone away. It's still something that it still lingers there in horrible childhood memories.
So it sounds like, so this is what it sounds like. Something had happened and you were already kind of down in the dumps. And then it just so happened that you're a little kid moving through a big crowd of people and you're Kevin McAllister in Home Alone and people overlook you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, like, what am I, chopped liver? You know, it's same thing. Like they overlooked Kevin in Home Alone. And so everyone's already kind of, so in Home Alone, Kevin's being a bully. You know, Kevin's being bullied by his uncle for some inexplicable reason why his uncle's being such a jerk, right? And then his cousin or his big brother's being a bully, and everyone's just getting mad at Kevin because he wants a cheese pizza, and he's like, you know what I mean? Like, and then after all that, they forget him.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm asking is, had something happened earlier in the day? Were you being pushed around? Were your parents getting mad at you? Did some of the cousins, were they mean to you? Like, why is it that, I mean, because as a kid, as a chaparrito, it's easy to be overlooked. Mm-hmm. And so something happened where you didn't forget this memory.
But see, I don't remember being like unhappy or something going on before then. Because I remember playing with my cousins, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, everybody, you know, let's get in the living room and do the countdown and everything. At 6, 7 years old, I was just walking by, and I remember feeling like if I was like a house pet that like was just kind of going through your feet, and just kind of like, oh, okay, you know, like it was just like almost a nuisance to those people. Like, what is that? You know, and I specifically remember looking for my cousins because they were the same height or around the same height.
Mm-hmm. And they were...
And they got caught, you know, in that whole thing, in the whole celebration, and I didn't. So I was kind of like, So, but that's why I think, like I said, it didn't ruin Christmas for me. It just kind of like at that moment, I guess it was like a little stamp of trauma.
So I don't know you back then, but I know you now, and I can picture you not wanting to be a part of the celebration. I can picture you like just, oh, this is so annoying. But then you look around and you kind of sort of maybe, again, I'm not trying to blame this on you, right? But it's because I know you now. And maybe that's why you are the way you are now. Or I don't know, but I can picture you. So the Gummi that I know now is the only Gummi that I know. Mm-hmm. And so I can picture you being like, this is annoying, and wanting to get through the crowd.
Yeah.
But your cousins are not annoyed by it. And your cousins are like, yay, it's New Year's. And they're kind of like, they're opening themselves up to the celebration, and you're just trying to get through, but you expected your cousins to come along with you. And then when they didn't, you look behind and you're like, what happened? What about me?
But nah, to me, it wasn't annoying because it wasn't until probably.
So you were a happy kid.
Yeah, I always looked forward,
and you wanted the hugs, and you wanted to celebrate.
And every other year, I mean, it happened. It just so happened that in that year, it was just kind of like I was a ghost, you know, and but yeah, I think I didn't stop really.
I think you realized that it was nothing major, but it's just a memory.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't think they were purposely trying to ignore you, and I don't think you were Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. Like, I'm sure that all your family loves you, right? Like,
maybe. No, yeah. I mean, it just so happened again that year it was just something that, I mean, yeah, maybe I was looking like it almost like everybody looks for validation. And I think as a kid, like if you're a 6, 7-year-old kid, mm-hmm. you know, you might not be thinking like, oh, I need to be validated, you know, but you want to be recognized and like you want your aunts and uncles, like the people that you love, you know, to acknowledge your existence, you know, and they didn't that day. But I mean, but since I've had a lot of good memories, holiday memories with the same family.
I can picture you going out to the backyard, like all solo, and just being like, nobody gave me a hug. And then this starts.
No, I went to the restroom.
And then this starts playing in the background. You ever heard this? Is like the saddest Christmas song ever.
It was Christmas.
Yeah, I've heard it. That's actually a pretty good song, though. Dude.
Yes. He just passed away, by the way. The lead singer of this band just passed away. Oh, man, the world, like, Christmas sucks. The holidays suck. Nobody cares.
I remember, see, as a kid, one of the things that we always ate was always turkey, right? And ham. But I remember one year we had goat.
Okay.
We had goat, and I mean, I didn't mind it. I think it was the first time I ever tasted it. It was actually pretty good.
Cabrito,
yeah. And of course, tamales. I mean, tamales are a staple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tamales, again, staple.
What's your favorite tamal, bro? There we go. Let's talk. Let's get into something nicer. What's your favorite tamal?
As a kid, I always used to love the bean tamale.
Really?
Yeah, and then I got into the meat one.
Yeah. I think it depends on the masa. Like I used to be like, oh, chicken's the best, right? Like the pollo verde, right? But sometimes you get I hate dry tamales. And sometimes there's too much masa, it's a lot of masa, and then it's dry, and then it's the masa to protein ratio is messed up, and
where's the beef?
Yeah, like where's my pollito, dude? So I think it depends on the moisture of the masa, the ratio of masa to protein, and for sure, like for some odd reason, puerco will always keep moist. Like puerco, like rojo, like that's always that's I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's my but I like it.
Yeah.
But I just recently heard about barbacoa tamales.
I've never had those,
bro. I want to try that. And my question to you is, ketchup or no ketchup?
I've had tamales with ketchup.
I used to only have tamales with ketchup.
To me, it's just salt. A good tamale just needs a little bit of salt, and that's it.
I used to I could never eat tamales without ketchup, and now I'm a grown man, and I'm like, what am I doing? What's wrong with me? But not gonna lie, dude. Every once in a while, at least one tamal a year, I'll throw some ketchup on that bad boy, and it's like, yes.
Are you a stuffing person?
I am a stuffing person, but also depends on the moisture. I don't like dry stuffing.
I never like stuffing, dude.
I like stuffing. I like it when it's done right. I like stuffing. So, but sometimes I've had some dry stuffing, and it's like, bleh. But you can never go wrong with ham. Ham is underrated. I think ham is underrated in South Texas because everyone does turkeys for Thanksgiving or Christmas. But ham, bro, a good smoked ham.
Favorite gift you ever got?
This one I love this one. So my parents, I don't know how they figured it out, but I always said, I wasn't a specific action figure, bro. I said I want the He-Man collection. I said I want all of the He-Man collection. I was a big fan of He-Man. I loved He-Man. And I remember one Christmas, I woke up in the morning. It was on the 25th. And I went to go check if Santa had come. And there was a row of He-Man action figures. Two rows of He-Man action figures. It wasn't the whole collection. It wasn't. But there was I'm sure there was I'm going to say at least 12, at least a dozen action figures. And they were all in the He-Man packaging. And I was like, oh my God. I got all the He-Man figures. So there were some cool ones, man, and my parents made it happen, and that's all I really wanted. That's all I ever asked for, and I got it. It was the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, I was excited about that.
Mine is similar, except it wasn't He-Man. It was Star Wars.
Oh.
It was I remember getting the X-Wing fighter one year.
Yeah.
And then I also had, and I still have it somewhere in my house, the Darth Vader like a
carrying case.
It's a carrying, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that I remember getting that, and of course this is like obviously in the 70s, when Star Wars came out. Everybody was into Star Wars, you know, for the most part, and I remember getting the Star Wars, and I was all happy because it was Star Wars.
Dude, I wasn't into Star Wars, but I remember having like cousins and like the kids of my parents' compadres, like they all like Star Wars, and so I remember seeing all their stuff, and I always thought it was cool, but I was never jealous of it. I was never like, why don't I have these Star Wars things? Because I guess I was into He-Man. I was really into He-Man, and so I didn't care if you had Star Wars or not. I guess you know what? Because I don't think we had cable, so I wouldn't see the Star Wars movies. I think I'd seen them once, and I thought, it's a cool movie, but I wasn't into it. But I would watch He-Man all the time.
You were probably also younger.
So I was born late 70s, but I wasn't watching Star Wars in the 70s.
82, you were what, 5?
Yeah, I was like maybe 4 or 5 and 82.
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't have been. See, I was already 10, 11 at that point.
Got it. Oh, so then that was your adolescence. You know, your adolescence was Star Wars. My adolescence was He-Man.
Yeah,
He-Man and G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah, because all that was middle school, high school.
Yeah, like I remember, and I think I chose because when I was growing up, it was He-Man, Transformers, and G.I. Joe. These were the cartoons that were also on TV at the time.
Thundercats.
So, and Thundercats. Thundercats came a little bit later. As I was getting older, Thundercats came later. But I always remember thinking, well, what do I want? And I always thought Thundercats is cool, right? Yeah. But I always wanted He-Man. So He-Man is what I chose. I didn't choose G.I. Joe, and I didn't choose Transformers. I chose He-Man. And as I was younger, I would get into shows like The Fall Guy. Remember The Fall Guy? Mm-hmm. So I always wanted the Ford, no, the Chevy.
Yeah,
the Chevy I always wanted that truck. So so I was into The Fall Guy, and I wanted that truck with the eagle on it. But and I got that. I got like a little Hot Wheels of it.
I remember one year specifically. I don't even think that I got it. I think my brother got it, but we got the tricycle that you sat down on.
Yeah,
the plastic, and you just
the big wheel.
The big wheel, yeah.
Yeah, I had a Dukes of Hazzard big wheel. I had a Dukes of Hazzard big wheel. It's funny. I had a big wheel with a Confederate flag on it. Stupid Dukes of Hazzard with that Confederate flag.
What about your favorite Christmas song?
So. It's weird because I have a lot of B-sides, right? And I dig real deep into the vaults for Christmas songs. I don't like because I've been on the radio for like 31 years. Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid, I would listen to Christmas music, and then 31 years after being a kid, I would play all the traditional Christmas music. So if you listen to my other show, like in the mornings, I start playing deep Christmas cuts. And I find like stuff that's like just out of nowhere. Yeah. So like for instance, the Pogues, Fairy Tale of New York, which is so I love sad Christmas music. For some odd reason, I love sad Christmas music. And one of my favorite emo Christmas songs is an emo Christmas song by The Used, and it's called "Alone This Holiday." It is my favorite. I will listen to that thing over and over for like an hour, and I'll just be there jamming out in my room, like screaming the hell out of it. Yeah. I love it. Like I love sad Christmas, so I don't know why. Like it's not like I want to be all depressed and stuff, but I just like.
It's just good music.
It's good music. Like, look, every good song, every sad song came from like heartache. Yeah. So all the sad songs usually hit a little different, and so it's real easy to make a happy song, right? Like you can make a gangster rap song, you can make a reggaeton song, right? But when you make a sad song, that one like came from somewhere, bro. Yeah. So sad and holiday music, bro.
Well, my favorite is a traditional one. It's a classic one. Mm-hmm. It's the Christmas song, but it has to be Nat King Cole.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping.
The Christmas song by Nat King Cole. Mm-hmm. That song, for whatever reason, as a kid, I always liked the song. And then it's come out in a lot of different specials and stuff.
So White Christmas has been done so many different ways. But I had been sleeping on it until recently. I had to. I don't know why I was listening to it again. And White Christmas by the Drifters. That version is the best version of White Christmas.
Yeah.
And I've been dreaming of a white Christmas.
It's just that whole soul doo-wop.
Doop 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 doop. Yeah, dude.
And that's also been wasn't that in Home Alone?
Yeah, it was in Home Alone. It was in Home Alone, and then
when he's singing it.
He's pretending to sing it too.
So we grew up listening to, watching Frosty the Snowman and all those, and they're still around for whatever reason though. Like, I still listen to Christmas music, and I listen to it like in the summer, like year round. I'll listen to it, on occasion, because it just kind of brings me back to like childhood memories, like good childhood memories. Childhood memories. I can't say the word childhood. Childhood memories, and
childhood.
Yeah, so it brings me. It gives me like good memories. It takes me back to the good memories that I had, and the few that I can still remember. Right, as I get older, but
the few happy ones you can remember. So the other day I read it. Like I don't know this. Like I read this the other day, and I read it on my show. And so they did a little like a search, or they did like not a search. They did a poll of like people who decorate the Christmas early. Like there's people that start decorating like right after Thanksgiving, sometimes before Thanksgiving, right? And the people that start decorating before Thanksgiving, right, or right after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. So those people are just happier people. Like it's not just because of that. It's just not. So what it is just those people are good, in a good mood. They're happy people, and they don't know if it's that they're happy and that's why they decorate, or they're happy because they decorate. Yeah. They just know that the people that decorate earlier are happier. And you say you listen to Christmas music in the middle of summer. So do I. Like, I'll listen to Christmas music whenever. If a Christmas song shows up, I'll start listening to it, and I don't care. But. And again, I know that you're not super religious, but I think this Christmas period, whether it's because of the religious reason or not, it's a time of hope. It's a time where like the whole year we've been stressing out about whether it's school or work or politics or whatever. And for some great reason, right there when everyone just gets off of school and Christmas vacation starts, what is it? Was it Guadalupe Reyes? So they call it Guadalupe Reyes. So the Virgen de Guadalupe is on the 13th and the Reyes Magos are on January 6th. So the time from Guadalupe to Reyes is just a time of happiness and joy and hope, and everyone's relaxed, and it's like we don't have to go to work until the Reyes Magos, and we don't have to go back to school until after the Reyes Magos. And Guadalupe, the Virgen de Guadalupe, we're celebrating her, and so everyone's just, for those couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, everyone's just happy. They don't have to do anything. Responsibilities are done. We're done for the whole year. So that's the Saturday of the year. That is the Saturday of the year. That's like, you know what? We don't got to do anything today except love each other. Yeah. And so Christmas music and Christmas and the lights and all that is just a reminder of this is when we're all just happy and we don't have to fight. But there's ceasefires when it comes to war all over the world. Politics are done. There's the news isn't so bad for those, and everyone loves Christmas for that reason. And everyone kind of just respects Christmas. I'm telling you, throughout the years, there's a ceasefire on Christmas. People are like, you know what? It's Christmas, man. And whether it's because of Jesus' birthday or it's just a time for everyone to just be happy. Right? Like just chill out. And I think that's why Christmas is so special to everybody. It's not, I don't think, yes, gifts are nice, right? But I don't think it's just so much the gifts. I think it's just the pretty lights and the hugs and the happiness and the smiles that, that it comes with it.
I still find myself going around town, driving, looking at the Christmas lights. Yeah. Because it just brings you, it makes you feel happy.
It's joy.
Like it's joy, yeah. You just feel like, hey, Before we end, I do want to bring up to kind of polarize this, 988. If people who are not everybody, unfortunately, has good memories of Christmas. So if they are,
if you're feeling sad, if it's a dark time for you, if you're sad, alone, look, call somebody. There's somebody always there. Or you call or text. You're right, 988.
Yeah, 988. So we're gonna end it there. Sammy, where can people find you on social media?
I'm everywhere under Sammy the House except Twitch, and I'm okay with that. I don't care about Twitch. But yeah, Sammy the House everywhere. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. You can listen to me every morning on 107.3. The name of the show is called Coffee and Magic. And if you like Christmas music, I got some good ones. I got some stuff out of the vault. Stuff that's non-traditional. There's traditional Christmas music and there's non. So listen to Coffee and Magic on 107.3. Listen to us here on the Q. And where can they follow us on the Q?
So the Q Podcast is on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and on YouTube. And you can subscribe to any of those things on those social media platforms under the Q Podcast, THECUE Podcast. No, sorry, it's THE. Jesus Christ. They can subscribe to the podcast.
Just post everything. Put the letters. Put the graphics.
Put THECUE LTX is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the QLTX on all the platforms.
Yeah. Yes.
I always mess that up.
That's okay. It's all right, man. It's okay.
Christmas.
You want a hug? I won't ignore you. I promise. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I know we already passed Diwali, but whatever you celebrate, the solstice, whatever. It's just a time of hope. But I'm proud and happy to be a Catholic. So praise Jesus, baby Jesus. Can't wait for Christmas, and that's it.
Yep.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Happy New Year.